Welcome back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon. This is the preview show talking about all the biggest boxing we have got this weekend. And ladies and gents, I've been saying it a lot the past couple of weeks. We're in for a treat. I mean, I said it in the first preview show. We had up until Christmas, including that big show we got in Saudi Arabia with Joshua and Wilder on the card. We're in for a real Christmas treat. This is like Advent. In terms of boxing, because every weekend there's some cracking fights on, some cracking cards. And this weekend, I think we might just see the fight of the year. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I promise you will see a fight of the year between Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards in America. Sonny Edwards is going out there in Bam's backyard. I know he's Mexican, but he fights primarily out of the US. So yeah, that'll be for the IBF and WBO world titles. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, elsewhere in the UK, so in terms of the earliest to latest, we'll start with the earliest for the UK fans. Josh Kelly's making a return on DAZN. He's fighting in a 12-round tune-up ahead of what's going to be a big year. And he had a lot of hope and prospects early on in his career. And I feel like this is another fight to show that he is of that slightly outside of world level, but that's where he's shooting for the stars, let's just say that. And next year I feel could be a big year for him, but then it gets interesting from then on. So Josh Kelly's returning, great, okay card on DAZN. But then, like I say, then it gets interesting. Jake Paul has got another one of his cards, and this is really interesting in my opinion. He's fighting. So Jake Paul is 6-1 pro boxer. I say that in hyphens because that is disputed in the boxing community. I won't go there today. I think we're going to go there in another video, but yeah, you'll see that stuff soon. He's fighting a 10-1 fighter in Andre August. Now, what is Jake Paul doing? So he's gone from these super fights, like talks of fighting KSI. He fought Nate Diaz. He's fought some crazy people, yeah? And now he's fighting just this, not average, but serious guy, Andre August, who's 10-1. Got, a respectable guy. So is that the route Jake Paul's going down now? Is he trying to be more serious and rather than these big events, these huge circus fights, really, that he's involved in, where, yeah, everyone tunes in, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean much other than clout on the internet, which, for the boxing community, they don't really give a shit about. But yeah, be interesting to see what happens there. But on that card is what I predict to be one of the fights of the year as well. Well, definitely in the women's side of the game, between Tredasia Green and Franchon Crews-Dezurn. There's some beef between these two. And I feel like the winner of this will get a real shot at Claressa Shields. A lot of stuff came out about her this week with the knockout video that guy that she sparred released. That's crazy, disrespectful, but we'll get into that again in another video. But Tredasia Green, I feel like she's got the upper hand on Franchon Crews-Dezurn, but she may be 8-2. She may have 2 losses, but I mean, those 8, she knows how to win. They're both at the top of their game. Again, they're both knocking on that door for a Claressa Shields fight in the US. So really interested to see what happens there. But then we go to the DAZN card between Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards, and this is one of the cards of the year, in my opinion. Not just the main event, but if you look elsewhere, you've got Galal Yafai, 5-0, making another step up against, let me read his name right, Rocco Santamaro, 22-2. Now, Galal Yafai is fighting him in his 5th fight. That just shows the strides they're looking to, take with him and, put him in the toughest test possible because they have the faith in his ability. Now, 5-0... you're going to have to show me some other fighters that in their 5th fight, there's fighting a guy that was 22-2. It's for Galal's own title. I think it's the WBC International, the WBA International. Either. He's putting his belt on the line, so really interesting there. Peter McGrail, he's making another step up. First fight, I think, overseas, or at least in the US. And then a sleeper on that card, Junaid Bostan, one of Britain's biggest prospects. He's got a good personality, and everyone's looking forward to see what he does. But he's fighting a guy it's a pretty level playing field, this one, between Gordy Rust II. Yeah, that's a little bit earlier on in the card, so maybe 1 a.m, 2 a.m. for us UK viewers. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. But the main event is going to be a cracker, a scorcher. I'm telling you, Bam Rodriguez against Sonny Edwards. Now, Sonny Edwards is one of my favourite boxers and personalities in the sport because he was calling for that fight for like a year. Then he signs with Matchroom. He gets the fight. And Bam Rodriguez just hasn't promoted it much. Sonny Edwards, every single day on my Twitter, is talking about this fight. And then eventually got to the point of talking about how Bam isn't talking about the fight, even after all the media stuff they did. And yeah, I don't know if that's Bam's attempt at mind games, saying like, this fight doesn't mean that much to me, so I'm not really going to talk about it. But this is Sonny Edwards' biggest moment of his career so far. And as we've seen throughout his career, 20-0, he doesn't really slip up no matter what the occasion is. I really think if he gets the win against Bam Rodriguez, which I do think he will, a lot of you may disagree, may just think he's a British hype job. I disagree with that. I think he really is going to do the business, put on a bit of a boxing masterclass. Now, I say that boxing masterclass, I don't like to use it lightly. I think the fight will be closer than many of Sonny's other fights, but I think he will look the superior boxer in there. It will go the distance. And fingers crossed the judges are kind and true to the display that Sonny Edwards is going to put on. But either way, massive fight. So you've got Bam Rodriguez, Sonny Edwards. On that card, you've got Yafai fighting in a huge step up. Junaid Bostan in an even fight. Then you've got Jake Paul against Andre August in his card. Shadeza Green fighting Franchon Cruz-Dezurn on the same card. Cracking fight. But then earlier on in the night, you've got Josh Kelly, a pretty big name here in the UK, looking to, end the year on a high and, send out the message to the rest of the division. So, big night of boxing on Saturday in the early hours of Sunday morning if you're a UK fan. And I can't wait to talk about it in the review show that's going to be coming out on Monday or Tuesday because plenty of fights. You'll see now the video's going on longer than it normally does, but that's because it's warranted because there's so many great fights. I don't just want to pick out a couple. I want to cover the whole area, the whole base, and again, look out for that review show because some of these fights, I don't think they're all going to end the way that the bookies predict. And I can't wait for that. So this has been the preview show where, as you've heard today, we only talk about the biggest and best fights in boxing. Can't wait for the review show. And take it easy and we'll see you on the next one.